Okay, I think I'm live. Give it a few more minutes. We've got George here. Hi, Tharnal. I mean, have you been waiting for specifically this discussion? That's going to be another episode of me incoherently rambling. Or have you been waiting for me to read James S.A. Corey and or whatever? It's fine. Crab people taste like crab, talk like people. It's true. Oh, goodness. Sorry, trying to get my blanket here. Yeah, so Tharnal, I'm assuming that you have read this book, either previously or in the past month. Obviously, this was the February pick for the Bender Book Club, aka I really should rename it to the Me, Myself, and I book club, because it seems like pretty much I'm the only one reading these books so far, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. So obviously I read this in February. This was Anitha's pick, and Anitha is not here because she just woke up. And yeah, so she's not here. But yeah, I read this. It's my first James S.A. Corey / Daniel Abraham. We'll not talk about how I technically DNF'd the first book in Long Price Credit, but it's fine. I enjoy. So I'm conflicted about this. It's very. The Mercy of Gods is very action driven, and there are great thematic explorations, but the disconnect for me is that I didn't really care about any of the characters or the world building or the setup. I don't know. It was just a very conflicting experience for me. On top of that, and I think maybe because of the writing style, it's just more of this stereotypical, at least in my mind, stereotypical sci-fi writing of very clinical and, no pun intended, scientific. Like all the scientific jargon was just very. It was just too much for me, too much for my brain. The entire time that I was reading this, I just kept thinking, one, I want to read Adrian Tchaikovsky, because I don't want to say he could do it better, because that makes it sound like James S.A. Corey as an author duo aren't good, but like I would love to have seen this premise and this world written by Adrian Tchaikovsky, because I do think it would have worked better for me. But by the end of this book, I was incredibly interested to see potentially where the second book goes. But again, I don't know, I'm conflicted. Like, I don't want to immediately pick it up when the second book comes out, but at the same time, like, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger that I'm like, I kind of need to understand what's going on. Not really a cliffhanger, I shouldn't say that, but I don't know. It intrigues me to see what happens in the second book, but at the same time, I don't really care to pick up the second book. Long story short, rating wise, it's like a 3.5 star, 3 star at best. Yeah. Hi, Chadia. Chadia hasn't, but also won't. Yeah, Anitha's asleep. Spoiler, there is no mercy, correct. And there are no gods, allegedly. But yeah, so the whole premise of this book is that oh god, it's been so long that I can't even remember, to be honest. So oh yeah. So again, incoherence. This is me. The way that this started off, they're at like this research group, this scientific group is at a conference, and it's just so you're thrown into this literal academic conference, and I didn't care about the conference. I wasn't invested in what was going on. I didn't really get a good feel of each of the characters. As we are introduced to more and more characters and character perspectives, even though this is written in the third person, each character felt like the same, just in different skins. There was no real distinction between any of the characters, in my mind. The closest that a character gets to any sort of like compellingness, whatever, was Jessen's character. And even then, it took almost the entirety of the book for me to actually become invested in her character. And I struggled. I struggled with this book for the majority of it. And my hope is that the second book will take the momentum that I finally got at the end and carry that through the second book, rather than kind of starting over from scratch and having to rebuild that momentum. But that's a future me problem potentially. But yeah, going back to this book, without going into spoilers again, the characters just felt samey. The stereotype that science fiction is just all about ideas. This definitely felt like, even though it's also at the same time a space opera, it felt like a science fiction novel of just the ideas. I didn't feel any connection to any of the characters up until, like I said, pretty much the very end, when I finally felt some sort of connection to Justin's character. But yeah, sorry. Tharnal, there's a very good reason to pick up the sequel. How the hell did the horses built ziggurats? Yeah, exactly. Shadia, I didn't have that with the first Expanse book, even though I gave up after. I still found the characters pretty distinct. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, the whole I guess we're just getting the spoilers or whatever. It's fine. The whole premise of this research team is supposed to investigate and find not a cure, but like they're supposed to find this thing, and whoever, basically this alien species, is pitting all these groups against each other to find whatever this inexplicable thing is, which I don't remember if they even reveal what they're supposed to find at the end anyways. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like it was a what's that phrase? What is that phrase? Not a carrot. Not a carrot stick. A MacGuffin? Is that what it is? Is that what MacGuffin is? I don't know. It felt, maybe this will be a case of like, if I read the second book, the first book will make more sense. I don't know. I was very frustrated by initially Jessen's character, that she was so self-destructive. Yeah. But then again, like by the end, I felt pretty connected to her. Sorry, hold on. Did it have any characters? I mean, that's a question. That's a great question. That is the point. They don't reveal the reason they need the lesser species. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's obviously, I read this book, I finished it. Not enough of it stuck in my brain in the past almost month since I finished it. All we know is that they live if they're useful. Yeah, exactly. Because I vividly remember the scene of the fight between the research group, what's his face? Daffin. He's like the main protagonist guy. the fight between him and the other species, like the kind of like ape-esque monkey species, whatever they were called, and then the subsequent literal massacre of that alien species by Daffod and the rest of his group. Well, specifically Jessen. That was actually one of the more interesting scenes to read / listen to, which I guess that was another thing, is I immersion read this, which, if you know anything about me, I will resort to an audiobook when I don't feel like I'm getting momentum or feeling connected. So an audiobook for me is a kiss of death if it's just purely audiobook. But the fact that I did immersion read, it was only a half death, I suppose. Yeah, monkey bad guys, they make boom boom. Yeah, the fact that they were like trying to make a bomb or whatever, or they made a bomb and then they destroyed everyone, or destroyed one of the characters, and then yeah, I don't know. I see why people like this book, and I truly do love the thematic explorations of oppression and not even colonialism, but it's just the subjugation of other species and the use of them for your own good. Good being a very broad term. But the characters, the world, none of it individually or collectively really clicked with me. And like I said, Jessen's character, by the end, I did feel a connection to her, and felt compelled by her, but I don't think it was enough to really overcome the quote-unquote problems that I had with this book. So yeah, I am curious, like, how much, since this is an author duo, Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham, how much input and writing either of the guys did. Obviously it's a co-authorship, but I know there are other co-authorships like Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Pretty much Tracy Hickman is the ideas guy. He just gives Margaret Weiss the ideas, and Margaret Weiss is the one that writes. So I don't know if that's the same type of thing here, where Ty Frank is the idea a man, and Daniel Abraham is the one that wrote all of the stuff, or if there was even more of a collaborative effort in the writing of this book, from the characters to the world and stuff like that. I am not completely turned off from reading anything else by Daniel Abraham. So at least that's good. Because again, the thematic explorations were really, really cool. I just don't think it worked for me in this book, in this setting. So I'm hoping a more fantastical setting rather than a more science fiction setting will work for my brain with Daniel Abraham's writing. Again, however much is involved here. So, Tharnal, to me, it was just about the species, quirks of the crab people, and how you get snippets of their society. Yeah, it was so slow going, learning about the alien world, which, to be fair, we're from the perspective of the humans, Daffod and Jessen and everybody else. So they are secluded and they're only given as much information as they are given, obviously. So on one hand, it's totally understandable why we don't get the ideas of get information regarding the world. Anitha has decided to grace us with her presence. And basically that's it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Anita. How are you? You're not gonna talk.
Okay, I just woke up and I'm not well. I, I,
You didn't have to join.
I know, but then you're sitting here all alone. So I thought, okay, I wouldn't do that for anyone. But I did
Huh.
also.
Well,
I,
you missed me yelling about the entire book. So,
I guess so. But that's good. I know it's good.
so it's gonna make me sound like I'm trying to make you justify why you like this book. But what do you like about Mercy of Gods, Anita?
I
Anita's
think,
a great friend, not just a good friend. She's a great friend.
thank you. I think I get that why people have. I mean, I haven't seen your complaints actually, so I don't know what are your particular complaints. You'll have to talk to me about that again. But people who hated this book complained about, characters being boring and all characters being same and all, but somehow I did not feel that way. Characters made sense to me. They're all nerds, they're all boring nerds, and they're thrown into this difficult situation. It totally made sense to me the way they acted, and world building was intriguing to me, and the choices they have to make. I think it reminded me of Abraham's LPQ and throwing characters into tough situations and making them choose that something like horrible thing we don't even think about doing. So all that, I was totally into it. I liked it.
I have not read The Expanse. You haven't read The Expanse, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so to reiterate what I was saying before, so like I don't we're introduced to I mean the book opens up with a literal like academic research like conference thing and I'm just like this is boring. I don't care. And I didn't get a connection to Daffod. Like I didn't understand like it throws you into this conference that you don't have no context for, don't really care about, with a character that you don't really have a grapple on yet, and then you go you get this alien thing. But I was saying before, like for me, the this is the stereotypical science fiction novel for me, where it's all about the ideas and there's no character like distinction. It's all about the ideas. However, at the same time, it wants to be a space opera that it has the world building and the character development and stuff like that. So it was just a really weird juxtaposition that didn't quite work in my head. For me, all the characters felt the same, just in different skins. And I had mentioned before you hopped on that by the end of the book, the one character that I actually started to feel a connection to and felt really had a kind of distinction and was pretty fleshed out, or at least started to become fleshed out, was Jessen's character. And I don't know. I'm of two minds where I want to see what happens if that momentum that is kind of like built very, very slowly built up through this book, that I finally felt some sort of traction, if that continues through the second book, or if it's basically going to be starting back over where it's going to have to slowly build the traction through and I'll finally get some investment by the end.
I will be reading the novella Live Suit this month. I'll let you know. But based on the synopsis, either it is like different characters because of the like takeover of their planet, or these people after maybe few years,
Oh,
because it is about a war between, I think, the I don't know, there are some humans, but these people or some other people, I don't know, they're part of the war actually.
huh, interesting. Oh,
Are we talking spoilers or non-spoilers?
oh yeah, we can definitely talk spoilers.
Okay.
That's hysterical. In academia, they all kind of feel the same. That makes sense.
uh, I
But so I did want real quick before you go into that. And I think I mentioned this to you before, Anita. Is like the entire time I was reading this book, I was just like, I want to read this from Adrian Tchaikovsky, like the
I'm
same
about to address
characters,
that.
the world, like the thematic explorations. I'm like, I want to. Again, I mentioned this before. If you'll watch back the first, 10 minutes or whatever, it's not that I don't want to pit like two authorships, against each other. Of like, oh, Adrian Tchaikovsky is better. I, for me in my brain, I do think Adrian Tchaikovsky exploring the same things that James S. A. Corey as an author duo were doing in Mercy of Gods, I think that would work better for me because he's already done it better with Final Architecture. It like I'm that's pure space opera science fiction fun. Never thought I would love a Motley Crue or space opera like that, but Adrian Tchaikovsky made me love it, and he does a lot of great, obviously, thematic explorations of things. Um, the thing that I did like the most about Mercy of Gods is that the themes that they were exploring, but everything else it didn't nothing added up for me and clicked in my brain to make just the thematic explorations worth the whole experience of the book, if that makes sense.
You're not the only one who mentioned Tchaikovsky. Pete mentioned the same when he read it. He said, I wish Tchaikovsky has written this or something like that. And I was extremely offended by that. Tchaikovsky is one of my favorite authors. But even then, I was like, while reading this book, I did not even think about Tchaikovsky. Did I read this one first or Mercy of Gods? I think this one first. No, I mean, Final Architecture first. When did we read Final Architecture?
So 2022?
4? 2024 or 3? 4, I think.
No, I
2020,
think it was 3.
no, 2024 January, we read Shards of Earth, and February, I read late April or something, the second book, and I think before reading the Final Architecture third book, I read Mercy of Gods in August 2024. Even then, while reading this book, I did not even think about Final Architecture. No, by the way, Charya, yes, very good morning. Um, I, I, even after you mentioned that, I can't, I mean, for me, both are different uh, writing styles, both of them focus on different things. Tchaikovsky focused on this motley crew, this all beautiful, wonderful aliens, which I mean, I those are my favorite things. At the same time, actually, James S. A. Corey didn't bother with any of explaining other alien creatures. We don't get any window. They're not part of the motley crew or anything, which is a so I don't think they want to focus on that, and I did not mind that actually. For me, this book is only the exploration of these nerds, their thematic elements of the slavery, and you know facing up this big monster like Carricks when they have nothing to face them against. No superhuman abilities, no power, no agency whatsoever. And this, I do agree with you that what is that guy's name? David?
Yeah.
David is such a boring character. And I especially in the beginning, that academic conference is like, oh my god, this is such a boring character, and I stayed with it only because I trust Daniel Abraham. And in the beginning, especially, what is that swamp or that what is that other alien body?
Oh, that is one thing that I didn't mention. When the oh god, what is it called when
Yeah,
it
I
took
can't
over
remember.
else? I was like, oh
Yeah,
my god, like it's a that's not else anymore.
yeah,
I know what you're talking about, and I'm
yeah. I
blanking
can't think.
on
Swamp, small. I don't know, something moving amoeba kind of thing.
yeah.
So that was the most interesting part for me, like that thing coming to humanity and waiting for Carix to, they know already that Carix is going to invade this planet where humans are living, and that part is the interesting part for me. David, I just did not care. So yes, first few chapters, like until Carix came to invade this planet, I was bored as well, but I stayed with it because of my trust in Daniel Abraham. So I do agree with the people, who had the same trust as me, who had the same investment as me in the other. Uh,
To
uh,
Chadia's point, like
yeah,
you had that you're a Daniel Abraham fan and you had that trust established. I don't have that trust
yeah.
established. But to your point, like I that was one of the I think that was one of the messages that I put in the Discord chat is like I'm like, oh snap, like she's been taken over. I thought that was really, really cool. But to your point, that like they're obviously two different authorships, whether it's an author duo or an individual, are going to have different styles and different purposes and stuff like that. I I don't know how to adequately describe it, but maybe it's again not to continue to compare the two. Tchaikovsky writes aliens that feel alien,
Hmm.
um, and believably alien, and
But
different creatures that feel that way. And in using Final Architecture as an example, you have these aliens that are the big bad, but you can see that there's nuance there. And maybe it's just because of the time when I read this book, the current climate of the world, as it were. I The idea of a at least how it's perceived and portrayed in the book, in this book so far, it's a more black and white in good versus evil. Humans are the good guys. These alien things are the oppressor bad guys. And I'm like, yes, oppression is bad. Yes, colonization is bad. But I'm like, I need to understand a little bit more. And again, I mentioned this before you joined. Like, I understand logically why we're not getting answers about this alien species and their motivations and stuff like that, because Daffod and the crew, the research group, are secluded from learning anything about this alien species and what they're learning. It's so incredibly slowly piecemealed to them. Sorry, George is going crazy over a toy right now. Um,
I think, see what, I don't want to compare actually Final Architecture and this one. This is the last thing I'm going to say. In that, actually, humans and rest of the aliens have this free run, so they are managed to build connections and contacts between them. So there are friendships and trade between them. So we have lot of insight into not just the big bad villains, other aliens as well. So there is lot of uh, you know, uh, fun around it, following them, getting to know them, something new, traveling with them. In this one, because of their so each planet they invaded, each create. By the way, if anyone watching, if you haven't read, so every time these big bad villains, Carricks, invade a planet, they bring like very highly intellectual and capable people and put them to some experiment. And they are very enclosed and they are like very uh, isolated. That's the word, right? Oh
yep.
my God, I can't think of the words. I just woke up. Forgive me. So, since
Oh, it's called the Swarm, by the way.
Oh yeah, swamp. Oh my god. I kept thinking swamp. So so because of that isolation, they did not have a chance to talk to other aliens. David tried, but they don't have any common language or anything. There is no scope for communication or forming a team or anything, at least in the first book. So though there are other aliens in the same situation as humans, we did not get to learn anything from them other than one small incident where David found out that one of the aliens he had seen in the past, he's not seeing it anymore because those aliens failed in that experiment, so they're gone, either dead or something worse. So those small moments actually, I found an emotion, I found nuance in that. So that so stakes were super high for me, that made me invested actually.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um, one thing that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, and now that I'm thinking about it, like I guess it kind of makes sense. So, Mercy of Gods, it's set on a planet that's not Earth, but we've migrated humanity from Earth to this planet for obviously a period of time that basically Earth is non-existent, like it's a legend. Sorry, cat. Um, but at the same time, we humans don't know there's any other alien life out there.
i I don't remember that, do they?
I they I from what I remember, they don't realize that there's alien life out.
You know better, I read like more than 1 year back.
I also have a terrible memory, Anitra. You know this, so. But I do, and Tharnal Tawny, maybe you guys can correct me, but like I'm pretty sure, like they thought, oh, humans were the only intelligent species in the universe, um, or the only species in the universe. Um, thank you, thank you, Tharnal. Bless your heart. You are, you're the. Thank you. You are the memories that we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm so used to like science fiction of like, oh, if we're going to another planet, we already know that there's alien life out there. But I don't know.
I think these 6 to 7 nerds we follow, they are actually clueless and they don't know what is happening. None of them seem intelligent, and the main character we are following, David, is very passive character. That might be the reason for people not enjoying the book, I
Yeah,
do give that. But I don't know, I did not care actually.
yeah,
Everything with respect to the world, I mean, the colonization part, the operation part, I was totally into the thematic exploration of that. While talking to you, I do understand why it did not work for you, but while reading it, I just did not care.
yeah.
I was totally in that.
And I completely. I mean, just like with anything, when you read something that when you individually will read something, the environment that you're in, the things that are going on around you when you read something will impact your enjoyment or lack thereof of a book. And when I read this, unfortunately, I think everything going on around me was just like I I can't lock in. I can't. I'm gonna take this as a fault for myself. I didn't give the book the time and attention that it deserved. I didn't meet it halfway. Not to say that like, oh, if you just like a book, you didn't read it right or whatever. You didn't give it the time it deserves. Like I think that this is a book that I don't know. I guess I expected more of a plot like action driven narrative than what I got, but it wasn't also something that was incredibly introspective. It was like a combination of the two that for me didn't quite mesh well, but at the same time I didn't adjust my expectations appropriately, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that. But also, it's okay. I think some books are not for us, and it's completely okay. Also, what did you think about the final choice David has to make? And second question, what did you think about Swarm killing Elsie and the jump into other dude?
Gillett.
We are talking spoilers, I can mention, yes.
Yeah. So like I said, like the whole else getting the swarm, or having the swarm, or actually being the swarm from the beginning, like, oh, like holy crap, and then Gellett becoming part of the swarm, like that's fascinating. Honestly, that's probably why I would read book 2, is like, do we learn more about the swarm, and is that going to be the connecting factor between the two books? But remind me of what David Hill.
David, so other people, other humans are finding a revolution. So David knows that they're not going to win. So he tells, he confesses
Oh,
uh,
to
to
Carrick's.
Garrix, and Swam, he tells else actually. So Swam knows that if Jellit was part of that revolution actually. If he dies, Swam knows that Jessin is going to break and entire team is going to collapse, and Swam will not get more time to plan the Carrick's defeat. So what it does is it kills Else, and basically it shifts. Else was already dead since the beginning, so it shifts to Jellit's body just so that Jessin knows that Jellit is still alive.
Yeah, I did like that. Um, I did like that aspect.
Yeah,
Like I
that
said, like I said at the beginning, like this took a very. It was so painstakingly slow to get information, and for me to actually get investment in what was going on. That I'm hoping if I read the second book, it's going to take that momentum and continue it into the start of the second book. It's not just going to be a basically start over, got to get reinvested. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'll let you know. I'll update you about the novella, and next month I'll be reading book 2. I'll let you know.
Speaking of novella, is that supposed to be set? Like, when is that supposed to be set?
I have no idea. There is no physical book. Only ebook was audiobook
Oh,
was
okay.
there.
Daffod is simultaneously a dumb name, but also not a dumb name. Um, it
It's very, I think, Europe, maybe Northern Europe name.
I mean,
I
it's a play off of David.
Yeah.
So, um, it's
Is it related to some Bible thing? I don't know.
David is a biblical name, yeah.
Okay.
Christian biblical name or Jewish biblical name. It's this. To be fair, I also think a lot of the names in a Game of Thrones are stupid. Like Joffrey, just call him Jeffrey. Eddard, just call him Edward. John is obviously John. Rob with 2 B's, just Rob with 1 B. That's all you need to do. So, hi, John. Yeah. So, I got nothing else, to be honest. Plus, I have to go get medicine for Max. So, anything else?
I don't know. I don't remember much.
Anita
Also,
needs to go back and go continue her nap. Well, sleep. But yeah. Anyways, so oh, okay. It is Welsh. Okay, cool. It is Welsh for David. There you go. All right, I was close. Yeah. So next book is going to be The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, and the live show discussion. Hopefully, I will be able to get Kai on here since that was his pick. It's going to be on April 4th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So
I may read that as well.
great. Okay, so maybe we can also get Anitha on here. And Anitha, it's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the first Saturday of the month, so you can plan accordingly.
That is early morning on a weekend, you know. It is so hard.
Listen, I'm trying to be conscious and
Okay.
respectful of
Okay,
our European brethren.
please remind me the previous day, not like 5 minutes before the live show.
I figured you'd have notifications set up because you're supposed to be such a great friend, Anitha.
It is. I have a notification. YouTube informs 30 minutes before the live, not one day before. I mean, maybe I should set up a calendar or anything, you know, which I don't have. But today, it's
Oh, I wonder if someone tried to set a calendar up for you and like a spreadsheet for you and stuff like that. Wonder if someone tried doing that.
Spreadsheet is for books. But anyway, I'm just joking. Today, it's not. I did wake up early, but I had stomach pain, so I went back to sleep.
All right. Well, on that note, there you go. John's going to be your personal like reminder.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so yeah. So Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, April 4th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Be there or be square, as it were. This was hopefully a lot less rambly than the last one. The fact that Anitha's here made it automatically less rambly. So thank you, Anitha.
I don't even know what I talked.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry. Sorry for my rambling and my hair. Now I see my hair poking out like this.
If it makes you feel any better, I haven't brushed my hair today, so this is all tangles. Oh, it's only 5. Well, okay, well, whatever. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So as of right now, 11 a.m. Eastern time, April 4th for Queen's Gambit. If I reschedule it for a different time and or day, I will let you guys know. Yeah, so Queen's Gambit for March's book, and then the pick for April's book, I think, is still
Slow Gods, I think.
We still got 4 days left. But as of right now, Slow Gods by Claire North is in the lead.
I think you should end that poll. I'm more interested in that book than anything else, but I could not vote for it.
Oddly enough, that's the book I'm least interested in reading. I'm sorry, Matt, if you watch this afterwards. So I'm sorry. Listen, I tried reading Claire North before, and it did not end well. So.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I have no experience.
It might have been one of those cases where wrong book, wrong time. So, hopefully. I know Angela is loving, or I think she finished Slow Gods. Angela loved it.
The book I voted for, Kai made me vote for, that's the least interested I was in. I hope he doesn't watch this.
Oh, he will, because he's read the book. So.
Sorry, Kai.
Listen, there were backroom deals going on. You made that deal, so you gotta live with it. Anita.
Yeah, I know. It killed my soul.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Thank you again, Anita, for hopping on, even when you were half asleep and don't feel good. Thank you, everyone in chat, for joining. Tharnal, thank you for being our collective memory. And Tanya, thank you for joining. John, Urza.
Just imagine me saying all those. I'm just having stomachache, so I can't say it with my mouth.
Say it with your stomach. That's weird. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. I don't know how to sign off on these things. Bye, guys. Thank you again. Have a great day.